Welcome everyone to the Nerd Nook. I'm your host Evan Teague, and with me like always is Noah Bailey. And this week we have something very special because we have ComicCon stuff to talk about. And I'm really bad about never knowing when ComicCon is coming up. It always just kind of happens, and I just kind of stop hearing about a bunch of stuff. And why is all this stuff being announced now? And it's like, oh yeah, ComicCon, right? So. Let's first talk about the DC Universe stuff that was first announced. I'll kind of go in order of... We're not going to go over everything that was announced because there's, a bunch of stuff that was announced. Just a lot of the big stuff that we personally care about. Mm-hmm. And essentially, this year, this Comic-Con was WB's really... only chance to really sell people on DC Universe. And before we actually go into the trailers and stuff and information they announced for specific shows, the subscription service will cost $7.99 a month or $74.99 per year. And if you pre-order now, you get 3 months free.
Ooh. Can I pre-order, get the 3 months, and then cancel?
No idea. Probably not.
That's what I'm thinking. But I mean, that's not bad. $7.99 is not that bad. But
especially compared to Netflix, which I think is about 10.
Yeah. But then I don't know. I have to see everything that's on it first. Yeah. I don't want to just. I'm not sold. Young Justice season 3 and other DC stuff looks good, but I don't know if I want to invest in that.
Yeah, especially I just did some calculations. About $8 over 12 months is about $96. So you're getting a pretty decent deal by just popping down $75 right off the bat.
Right.
However, you're committing to a year. If you commit $75 to watching this for a year as opposed to $7.99 the months you'll use it, and then you're $75 in the hole. Maybe you don't end up liking Young Justice season 3 or the Titans show or any other show, or just the comic books they have aren't as expansive as you were hoping. Some people might feel a bit cheated by you're technically getting a deal if you do want to actually have it for all that time. But if you go 3 months in or so and realize, hey, I'm not enjoying this as much as I want to, then
bad.
Which maybe you can cancel your $75 pre-order if you don't like it after 3 months. Maybe that's what they're going for.
Hey, I don't know. I doubt it because they wouldn't make any money that way. But
yeah,
I think you pretty much lock in if you go 75 for the year. So it's probably all up front. So it's just
yeah.
But I don't know. But I don't think it'd be worth it. I'd probably if I was gonna, because I feel like I'd watch everything I'd want in a month or two time anyway. So unless they're just adding a bunch of new content, which I don't think they would right off the bat, I wouldn't go for it.
Also, I'm kind of feeling that the way they'll distribute the shows and whatnot will be a weekly basis, as opposed to how Netflix does their Marvel shows, where they release the full season of Daredevil in one night, so you can just binge it all at once. I kind of feel over that 3 month free period, you might get all Young Justice season 3. I'm not, depending how many episodes there are, I'm not really sure.
True. That would be smart on their end to keep people around longer, but that would, for the consumer, that's kind of annoying because I want it now.
Yeah, if you do get that 3 months free and you don't... let's just say you do get the 3 months free and they release all of... Sorry, let's just... Yeah, okay. And they release all of Titans and Young Justice all at once. in like on day one, and the Harley Quinn Swamp Thing, other shows and whatnot, they come out like later next year. Do you think people would really want to stick around just so they can read the comics and watch old TV shows and movies after finishing those shows?
I doubt it. I don't think so, because the thing is, like, it's not worth it, definitely. Because, I mean, that's a lot of, if you're going to go for the $75 route for the whole year, like, that's a lot of money for, just streaming, and, like, it's not worth it. Because you could easily just, get the first couple of months to watch what you want, and then knowing that other stuff's coming later, cancel, and then if you want, just get it back later, save the money. But,
like, it's just weird to think that on paper, $7.99 a month is not that bad. That's actually a pretty good deal, especially compared to other streaming services out there. I think Hulu is $10, Crunchyroll is $6 or $7, which is still pretty good. Netflix is $10, I think $13 if you get premium. Yet for some reason, plopping $75 all at once, just having that there. If they had just said, "Oh, it's $7.99 a month," I would probably be more positive about it. But since you have that $75 amount per year binding contract, I assume there, that just makes the whole idea a bit, I don't know, a bit not worse, but it's not as enticing just because of that, if that makes sense.
Right. You're like, it feels like they're almost trying to swindle you into spending all your money on it and trapping you in.
Like, it's a better deal, but, like, what if I'm not happy with the service?
I would definitely not go for it. If anything, I would get the $7.99, but even then, I'm kind of like,
Like, it just depends on how much are they willing to go all in on the idea of having all comic book content, having all of the Justice League shows, all the Batman, even, like, the Adam West and previous Batman shows, just all of their DC properties all in one place. How all in are they willing to go with that? Because I wouldn't be surprised if they focused more on the New 52 and newer shows, movies, and comics, at least at first.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably the way they'd go. Like, I mean, if they had, like, straight up everything, like, that'd be insane. That'd probably be worth it. But knowing that DC and, like, that won't WB and stuff, I don't think that'd be the case. Because, like, not only do they want to, like, advertise for their newer stuff and stuff like that, but also it's just, like, it doesn't seem in their character,
Yeah.
Something about just, like, that's too good to be true, it sounds like.
But what does seem very in character for them is that Titans trailer. I almost got my hand cut off due to all the edge from that trailer.
Oh, wow. Oh, boy.
That was awful, right? Like, it's not just
me.
No.
No, it's not. No, it's I'll admit, I was not excited for it to begin with. I was just like, oh, okay. And then, I get the trailer, and it's like, okay, yeah, that sounds about right. I was expecting a miss, and I got a miss. So, I mean,
Yeah, like, maybe all of this is just from the pilot. That's going to be an awful pilot.
I mean, that sounds horrible, honestly.
Like, Starfire, like, her costume, we've seen it before in, like, behind the scene pictures and stuff. It looks even worse on screen. Like, my brother compared it to Lava Girl from Shark Boy and Lava Girl, just the way the hair, just the way they animate her hair, and, like, the fire she shoots. Like, why is she shooting fire?
Like, not real fire. That was something I was so mad about. I was like, wait, do they know she doesn't do real fire, right? Like, I was really just like, oh, God.
Her thing is green energy. I mean, maybe it's like a red energy blast, but it's clearly not green.
No, it's clearly, like, it's not, and it's like, it looks like actual like she looks more like magma or something, or like, and I was like, I'm like, they know that Starfire is just the name that doesn't have it. Her powers don't emit fire or anything. And I'm just,
I don't. I'm honestly not sure if they do.
I,
At least
you
Beast
know,
Boy is green. We got that.
That's true. That is true. That is true. But I mean, I don't think you should get points for doing what you're supposed to do.
Yeah,
but you know,
especially when Raven's like 14, Robin's like 30, Beast Boy's 20 something. Starfire's actress is in her 30s. So like, you're called the Titans, and like the reason these characters work so well is because they're all about the same age, around 16, 17 in the comics, even in the Teen Titans TV show. It works so well because they're all teenagers. Cyborg was the oldest at like 18. With Raven being like 14, the oldest being in his 30s, like I don't like this. It just won't work.
This is not looking good. And like, I just don't like Raven at all. Like, it doesn't. She looks so like, oh, helpless, help me. Like,
that's not at all what Raven's about.
No, I'm like, where's the like dark, like edgy, kind of creepy, like what's kind of.
The one instance where you're allowed to be dark and edgy, you just completely change your character? Like, what are you doing?
And I think they they threw all their dark and edginess into Robin, which this is the Dick Grayson, which is not. I mean, it feels like they're going for the wrong Robin here. I was getting much more like Jason Todd vibes out of this, and I'm just like,
apparently DC tried to damage control later. He didn't actually kill those people. He was shooting above their head to scare them. He didn't curb stomp that guy. He was just stepping on his collarbone. I know from personal experience, breaking your collarbone is no joke. That's
true. But I mean, I don't. It did not. No, it did not look good at all. I was not expecting much, but I was just like, oh goodness, this dumpster fire.
I get it. This show, I think, is supposed to take place in the Batman vs Superman DCEU universe. So I guess it kind of makes sense that a Robin under this Batman wouldn't really have a good view of that Batman because he's kind of an awful person. At least what we got in BVS. But just to have the big line from your show be F Batman. Really? Really?
I'm like, you good there, buddy? Like, I don't know. Nothing about that trailer. I was like, oh, that looks good. Everything was like, meh, or like, that's wrong, or
it was either wrong or I couldn't see what the flip was going on.
it just nothing looked enticing about it. That's one of the reasons I'm not really sold about the DC transfer. Because like, if content like that's gonna start showing up, I don't want to pay for it.
I don't want it. Yeah, like, and it's really sad when the best part of your trailer is the stuff with Hawk and Dove in it. No one likes Hawk or Dove. Yet, for some reason, they had the best sequence in that trailer, and it was like 30 seconds. It was like maybe 10 seconds of pitch black darkness, and apparently Dove ripped a guy's face off. Like, that's it. That's your best part of the trailer.
Well, yeah, and like, people don't even really know who Hawk and Dove is anyway, which they'll probably end up being the best characters in the show, but still.
It was...
good for those characters, but bad for, everything else in the Teen Titans. So, we'll see, but...
And look, I get it. They're just called the Titans. So, like, I'm not expecting it to be at all similar to the Teen Titans show we know and love.
But...
I'm still, kind of wanting it to be good.
Right? Well, you can still make the characters interesting. They don't... Like, granted, the actual show hasn't started, but literally, we saw the behind-the-scenes shots. Yeah. Ooh, these don't look so good. We see the trailer. Oh, this doesn't look very good. I'm still... If it looks like it does... I'm not feeling this one, but we'll see. Maybe I'm wrong.
Maybe
I'm wrong.
Well...
But, I don't think so at this time, but we shall see.
Thankfully, someone at DC seems to know what they're doing with Dick Grayson, because that Young Justice Season 3 trailer actually looked pretty good.
Very good, yeah.
Yeah.
I did like that trailer. I was a little, I don't want to say disappointed. I was a little thrown off. That I thought this was going to be more about, like, you know how season 2 obviously ends with Vandal Savage and Darkseid and, like, you know, Apocalypse. So I was like, okay, so are we going like full scale Apocalypse on Earth, or like what are we doing here? It's going a different direction than I originally thought, which is fine. Because, I mean, as long as it's an interesting story, I'm not disappointed. You know, so I like how there's like the whole meta-human trafficking or whatever. That's going to be interesting to see. Your thoughts?
I think it'll be a slow build to that. Like, the first couple episodes will be, you know, bring the team back together, introducing the Outsiders and other new characters. And then maybe after the first big arc, you know, maybe like after a mid-season break, then Apocalypse stuff will happen. You'll still have plenty of episodes left to expand that out. Like, I don't think the entire series will just be about what we saw in that trailer.
Yeah, that is true. Because I forget that, like, Young Justice, they have like 20-something episode seasons, which is something I'm more used to, like
13.
I don't know. Stuff like that. So I was like, okay, yeah, they're gonna have way more space to fit more in. So it's not all what you see, which is great.
And in season 1 and 2, a lot happens in both of those seasons. Like, I mean, yes, you had like all the, not Kree, what are they called, the Reach stuff, and whatever those aliens are called in season 2. You had all of that stuff going on, but you also had the Vandal Savage subplot, the main Justice League members being on trial in space.
Right.
You had the one episode with Mongols showing up on Earth for some reason, and just you had a bunch of storylines kind of going on all at once.
Aqualad and Artemis being all that. Bad guys. Yeah, like that was a lot going on.
So it very easily could just be the mutant trafficking stuff could just be like first couple episodes just to introduce the Outsiders and bring them into the team. Yeah,
which that'd be good. That's like a good way to start your season. Like, oh yeah, bring everyone back, add some new stuff, and then go from there. Which is that's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm excited about this.
Yeah, and like I couldn't name every single character that they showed in that trailer, but like what we saw from the characters we saw actually doing things, the action still looks pretty good. It still like looks the same. The animation is still the same overall. And like so far they've given me no reason to not be excited about this. Like especially since in that little recap they had before the trailer actually started, at least in the one I saw, they still had focus at the end of that little recap on the whole Vandal Savage and Darkseid stuff. So like that's going to come back.
Right, which is great, and that stuff like that. And like they also talk about like the ending stuff as well as the beginning of this trailer, a lot of like Wally kind of hinting at stuff. So like they'll probably make a comeback somewhere.
Yeah.
And like a lot. I think this is going to be a really good season. Like they're not playing around, which is awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. So like if they do release this and the Titans show at the same time, I don't feel bad about I was about to say I feel kind of bad for that Titans show, but really not even really, because that show looks bad. If just having the Young Justice might be enough to entice me to at least try it out for a month or two, after the majority of the show is already on the service.
Right.
Yeah,
I think so, because like I think that's something I'm definitely going to want to keep up with, because it's going to be really good. I think obviously Young Justice was already, from what we had in the past, Young Justice was a great show. So like there's no reason to think this won't be just as good, if not better. So it's like
especially since all the same actors, writers, creators in general. Right. Everyone's coming
Everything's
back.
Like
it's basically a passion project for them. So like it's probably going to be good.
Yeah, it's going to be great, because, like, when a show leaves and then comes back, but when everything comes back with it, that's when you're just like, yes.
Yeah.
Because, like, the first feeling is when a show finally comes back, but then half the cast or, director and stuff are on other stuff and don't come back, and you're just like, it's not even worth it. So
yeah. Yeah, and since it'll be on DC streaming service and not on Cartoon Network, they might. I don't want this show to be like dark, but they might be able to get away with a little more here and there. They might go a little further with certain things. They might have more budget in general since it is DC's property, solely their property. So I can see it just being a little more intense overall in a lot of aspects.
Right. And also now that we don't have to worry as much as like toy sales and stuff, hopefully like this will go on past the season 3, hopefully get even more seasons after that, which is
like, don't overstay your welcome. Like, learn from the CW. Like, all of those shows, I know they're relatively popular, but like clearly people aren't too happy with The Flash anymore because it's actually at the bottom of the CW's ratings list. It's below Black Lightning.
Even Supergirl.
Yeah, like Black Lightning just recently came out, and Flash is below that. Which Black Lightning is a decent show. Yeah. There's no reason The Flash should be lower than Black Lightning.
It's got a 3-year advantage, and like, oof. Especially how good seasons 1 and 2 of Flash were, and like now it's just kind of, I don't know.
Was Supergirl number 1? Is that what I heard?
Something like that, I think. Yeah, which I was like,
it's kind of funny that Supergirl is now the best show in that network outside of Black Lightning, which is still kind of up in the air.
Yeah, but like, how did that happen?
I don't know.
Right?
Legends was like always just kind of okay. Like it was just just a good fun time. Then it just got boring. Flash just got bad. Arrow I still haven't watched, but apparently it's still bad.
yeah. I mean, it had like season 5, it got better again, and then the next season it's like, oh, you thought we were gonna stay good? Haha, like
Yeah. So hopefully, whoever is in charge of the CW stuff, stay away from Young Justice, please.
Yeah, I think
you can touch Titans all you want. I don't care about that show, but Young Justice, stay away from that.
Yeah, I think they'll be fine. It's a whole different department. The people from Young Justice, I mean, I think they'll be, because like they know what they're doing. The show never really missed a beat, so hopefully.
So do you hope for season 4, especially if season 3 is good of Young Justice?
Of Young Justice? Yeah. I mean, because like, I feel like this is the kind of show that has so many characters and you can tell so many stories. And there's a lot of characters you can use anyone in this universe.
Yeah.
Because I mean there's pretty much nothing. I mean nothing's off the table pretty much. So I mean you can pretty much you can make so many stories with this. You can make new characters, build shows around that. Like, pretty much add things in.
Yeah. I love how Young Justice, like, even though it's more or less like a Titans show, it's still a vehicle for many, many different stories. Like Superman stories being incorporated in Batman, Dr. Fate, Darkseid stuff. Like a whole bunch of different storylines can be told just through the Titans. And if you want to bring in older characters, you can. If you want to bring other dimensional stuff in, you can. Just go crazy with it. Like, it doesn't even really need to have an overarching story, just as long as it's good.
Right, and that's the thing. Like, they can pretty much take. I mean, with all the comic book stories they have with all these characters, they can pretty much like, hey, I like that story. Let's throw it in here, and you can just make it work. Like, it'll be fine. Mm-hmm. And just all the writing.
I just hope that Lagoon Boy doesn't come back because I never liked him.
Yeah, I mean, thankfully the show didn't focus too much on him. He was I think they kind of used that on purpose. Like, he was annoying for everybody. So, like...
But he never got his comeuppance. Like, Martian Girl didn't break up with him because he was a garbage person. She broke up with him because she realized she liked Superboy better. Or more, or whatever. Like, we never really got the instance of Lagoon Boy, like, being at his lowest point to the joy of the viewers.
Yeah, true. But I mean, like, at least he wasn't like moved up into like the core like member or anything like that. And they didn't overdo it. They could have, which a lot of shows do like to do. They like to bring in characters that it's like we really don't want to see more of, and they're like, "Oh, you want more?" We're like, "No," and they're like, "Yes." Yeah, so they chilled out at the right point, which is good.
Yeah. So, if anything, I might pay the DC Universe $7.99 for like a month or two after the show comes out, and then I'll just kind of gauge it from there. The other content that's there, like, are there any actual comic books right then that I would want to read all the way through? Are there any, are there any shows that I need to catch up on? Like, if Batman the Animated Series is on there, which a show, admittedly, I haven't seen many episodes of, which I really should.
Oh, dude, you should.
I know.
Dude, so good.
I know. I just haven't gotten around to it. But if that's there, I'm in. That'll get me.
Game over.
Yeah.
I feel like that should be on there because I don't think it's anywhere else. Like, why not?
Yeah, it's not on Netflix, not on Hulu, The DVDs, I think, are also pretty hard to get.
Yeah. Because the show has like, I think it's like 60-something episodes, and the new Batman Adventures is like another 20. So like, it's a lot.
Yeah. So yeah, hopefully, outside of Titans, which we know is going to be garbage, I haven't seen anyone defend this show, which I find hilarious. Like, there's always people, even Justice League, which I don't hate. The movie. I don't hate Justice League, but I don't think it's good. There are even still people trying to defend that. There are always people who will defend any DC property. I have seen maybe one person defend Titans. Everyone else hates it.
Because they know.
Yeah.
They know. It's like, it doesn't look good. And it's like, this is going to be the second time something like Teen Titan related is going to be like messed up. And we're just like, come on, guys. But, Oh, well. If it's trash, maybe we won't see much more. Maybe we'll get like one season and then they'll just like focus on like the Teen Titans show.
Yeah. Oh, one more thing that like I kind of realized after watching this is that there was never a moment in that trailer where they were a team. And I get that, they're not necessarily, it's not going to be the same Teen Titans we know and love, but like, that's always been their thing. They're outsiders coming together for a common goal. They never, in every single shot outside of Hawk and Dove and Robin and Raven, there was never a scene of more than two Titans together. And that just, not even like a pan around shot of all of them, or like just them standing heroically, just in a street corner or something, just or on a building or something. Just I can't believe in this moment that they're going to be a team and work together effectively if you don't show me the reason why these characters the reason why we love these characters in the first place.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that'll be like, it'll take a few episodes in the show for them to finally come together, and like that'll be like, oh yeah, they're finally, like, that's what the show's trying to get you to finally rally for it, but if no one watches it, no one's gonna care. So.
True.
We'll have to see.
Speaking of a movie that no one might watch and no one might care about, Aquaman. That got its first trailer. Finally, 6 months removed from release, which is going to be good when they're not advertising until 6 months. Which I can't really say that because the first Infinity War trailer came about 7 months before its release, so like there is precedent for it being good, but like it's Aquaman. Come on.
Yeah, it wasn't the worst trailer I've ever seen. Like, it was not that. I actually kind of liked it.
Okay,
some stuff was pretty good.
Yes, the trailer itself actually looked pretty decent.
Right?
However, I went into this trailer with the mindset of, okay, every single trailer for a DCEU movie so far has actually looked pretty good. Suicide Squad, the trailer with that was set to Bohemian Rhapsody was actually pretty good. Some of the first two BVS trailers were pretty good, especially the one with the warehouse fight, which was the only good scene for that movie, but still. Wonder Woman trailer, it was a good movie, so you had a lot to work with there. Even that first Justice League trailer, I thought it was kind of boring, but it still, looked impressive. So I went into this movie thinking, okay, this Aquaman trailer is probably going to look good. Doesn't mean anything about the movie itself.
That is so true. That's what I was thinking a lot watching this, because I was like, all right, this trailer is this trailer looks good. And I remembered, wait a minute, the last 3 trailers for DC movies I saw were also, I said the same thing.
Yeah.
And you know how that turned out. But
Yeah.
still, it's like, it almost, I don't know, they're good at making trailers. They are.
They're really good at putting all of the best parts of their movies in the trailers, and that's it. Nothing else. That's it.
And there were a couple, like, there were some good epic moments. You know, there was a couple funny moments in there,
Yeah.
and like you know, and like stuff, and like the 1-2 seconds we saw Black Manta looked pretty good.
His costume looks kind of, I don't know, action figure-y, but like
it
still looks kind of good.
Yeah, and like, you know, the like blast effect looks pretty nice.
Yeah.
I like that kind of, and like
the one scene of Aquaman wanting, you know, to retake the throne for Motion Master felt very Black Panther-y, which I mean, is a plus.
That's good. Yeah, except wouldn't he be Killmonger or what?
Whatever.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The point is, someone's gonna beat somebody up. But I mean, I do like that the underwater scenes didn't look as annoying.
Yeah.
As they did in like Justice League.
Yeah.
Because it was good. Because I did not want to see a whole movie like that.
Yeah. And I wasn't putting too much merit or whatever on the scenes from Justice League because most of that scene was either reshoots or just severely cut down from the Snyder cut. You know, since like you saw Parademons just kind of in the background, clearly dead, because there was clearly like an extended battle that happened.
Right.
So there was supposed to be more that we saw. There was no guarantee that any of it was gonna look good. It was all probably gonna look relatively, you know, like the scene between Steppenwolf and Aquaman that we got. But still, I wasn't gonna judge the entirety of Aquaman based on that. I was gonna base it entirely on the character of Aquaman, which I still don't necessarily like in this trailer.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess they're trying to make him more like douchey, like likable douche kind of. I guess they're kind of going for it, which
like
I
an
don't
Iron
know.
Man-ish type of thing. Maybe?
I mean, not even as much Iron. I don't know. Kind of like a mix of Iron Man, maybe a little Thor, kind of in there. I don't know.
Yeah,
like
I can see Thor.
I don't know.
Very Thor.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, I think that's
Just
really
the
what they're
atmosphere
trying
overall
to do.
felt very Thor-ish.
Right? Yeah, you know, they're trying to really do, especially like new Thor, they're trying to like piggyback off of that.
Yeah.
So we'll see if that works. I don't think it will.
Yeah.
But we'll see. But
the main problem that, like, I, as someone who follows the comics, follows shows and other movies and stuff, the main problem I personally had with this trailer was that, like, even though Aquaman has never had a live-action movie, I still kind of feel like I've already seen the movie. You have Ocean Master wanting to take back the throne with the help of Black Manta.
Right.
Queen Mera comes to get Aquaman back from the surface land to go help. That's literally every single time Aquaman is introduced into anything.
Yeah.
In the Justice League cartoon, and Batman Brave and the Bold, and Justice League War for Atlantis, or whatever that Throne of Atlantis.
Throne of Atlantis. Yeah. I mean, I feel like this movie is going to be pretty much that movie, just kind of worse.
Yeah.
And without the rest of the Justice League.
I get it. A lot of casual fans who probably just saw Justice League, well, no one saw Justice League, but you know what I'm saying, who are seeing, or maybe are just seeing Aquaman now for the first time. This is really the main Aquaman story you can tell to a newcomer. Like, it's kind of the easiest one to tell. I'm not confident I don't know of many other Aquaman stories you really could tell, but I'm sure there are others in what the 50-year history he has, but still.
Yeah. It's like the.
Yeah, it's just kind of annoying for me, who's already seen this story at least 3 other times, not including in the comics. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like pretty much every comic book person that knows a thing or two about Aquaman is like, okay, we've seen this movie. You've seen this movie before. You know how it's going to go.
Actually, 4 times. I think the storyline was more or less told in Young Justice Season 1 as well. So, I think Ocean Master showed up in the one in Atlantis arc.
Actually, I think so. Yeah, I think a little bit of that is right. I'm not totally sure. It's actually been a while since I've seen Young Justice. Now that I think about it.
Yeah,
but
it's not Netflix.
Yeah, I think. I think they took it off. I don't know. We'll see. 'Cause I know they took off Justice League.
Oh, they did?
Like,
oh.
Yeah,
Okay.
series. Yeah, I was looking for it the other day. I got so mad. I was like, no. But no, it's like, you know, anyone that's seen, you know, basic, like, any kind of, like, DC stuffs in the past, you've seen this story at least once. So that's, you know, you're going to see it again. But it's like, it feels like, it kind of goes back to that idea that, like, the creators in DC have only read, like, the mandatory reads of each of their characters, and they don't really know the characters. So, you know,
disappointing.
Right? This is like, I mean, this is pretty much the only Aquaman story that everybody knows. No one else can really name other ones because no one else really likes Aquaman. Yeah. Well, I'm not gonna say no one, but, you know, most people aren't huge.
He's no one's favorite superhero.
Yeah. So it's like, you know, that's the one everyone can name off the top of their head, but, you know, we'll see it on the big screen, which isn't totally bad, but it's just kind of like, it doesn't bode confidence that you really know your characters you're working with.
Yeah. So, am I more hyped for it now than I was before? By definition, yes, because they actually showed us something. But
yes,
I'm not as hyped as really as they. Of course, I'm not as hyped as they want me to be. I'm just not entirely sure if anything they could have showed would have gotten me like super excited for this movie. Will I see it? Like, if you know, if you or someone else asked me to go see it with them as a joke, I might do it. But like, I would much rather watch the Bumblebee movie or Into the Spider-Verse. I feel like there's other competition that kind of I kind of need to see otherwise. I don't need to see Aquaman. That Into the Spider-Verse movie looks pretty darn good.
Yeah, I definitely want to see that, because that's exploring characters that, like, we've wanted to see on the big screen for a long time and have yet to do so. And a lot of people really like Miles Morales, so it's like, yeah, let's do this.
Yeah, and Aquaman isn't really a character anyone's been pining for.
No one's like, come on, where's Aquaman? Everyone's just kind of like, oh, look, there's Aquaman. Like,
yeah. Which, like, I don't like the stigma that he's, you know, he can talk to fish. That's his whole thing. He rides dolphins. Like, I don't like the super fans incarnation where he's just goofy and that's his whole thing.
Yeah.
But I kind of feel like they might be overcorrecting just a little bit with this movie.
Yeah.
Just his entire persona in Justice League. Yeah.
Yeah, they're just kind of overdoing it. And I mean, I feel like they didn't have to. Or maybe he said something like, you know, we don't just talk or something like that. You know, like something, I don't know, something, just kind of, they don't have to bring it up all the time.
Yeah.
Like, maybe just like the one time.
Like the one joke at the beginning was good enough. Then he said, then Batman, and like, I kind of like Justice League, but Batman just, okay, let me rephrase that. I don't dislike Justice League, but Batman was way too jokey, way too corny at times, just, and the whole, you do talk to fish, right? Like, that was necessary. Just
I don't know. It is Batman. Batman's not supposed to be funny.
Yeah,
unless he's like
Batman's supposed to know what all these people do. He has like Luthor's notes on all these people, so like he should know that Aquaman. Yes, like he should know exactly how Aquaman communicates with fish and other sea creatures. Like he shouldn't have to ask that. He should tell him, you know. I don't remember exactly what the context was, but like Batman, she should like be telling people what to do, not asking them, "Hey, can you do this?"
Right. It's like, and it's weird because he knows like what the other, like he knows what Flash and everything. So he just kind of, I mean, he was so calm. He just throws Batman at Flash.
If it wasn't Flash,
he knew what he could do.
He would have killed again.
Yeah, you know. Yeah, would have just walked in someone's house, murdered them. So that would have been awesome. But I mean, then again, with this Batman, he probably would be fine with that. But
no, he always just indirectly killed them. He never, except for that one guy who he threw a box at and their brain splattered on the wall. But no, that was just accidental.
Or the guy he like ran over with his car.
No, he was just in the way. He didn't get out of the way. That was his fault. How do you
outrun a Batmobile? Like,
I couldn't tell you.
I don't know, but I mean, they don't get the characters right. Yeah. I don't know. It's just really disappointing. But
one character they did get pretty darn well in the trailer was Shazam. Now,
Good
this
trailer.
movie, like, ever since they've announced it, I'm like, you know what? I could go for a Shazam movie. Like, the premise of a kid just suddenly getting powers and being a huge buff superhero, yet still having the mind of a kid. There's just so many ways to go with that. And I feel, at least from what we've seen in the trailer, this kid, discovering he has superpowers. And then, like, his other friend, like, just the idea of them just kind of going throughout their day, like, figuring out what powers he has. Everything I've seen from the trailer so far looks really good.
Yeah, it looks good. I mean, like you said, like, the concept, basically big with superpowers, which is really, like, a cool thing. And, like, I think, from what I've seen, like, the Billy Batson character looks interesting, which is kind of cool. Yeah. Like, I like the scene where he takes the little, like, hand crutches and beats up the bully. I thought that was kind of cool. I was like, okay, I can get behind this kid.
Yeah. Like, he clearly wanted to be a superhero before he was Shazam.
Right.
So him getting the power just makes sense.
Right. So it's not just like, oh, you were chosen just because, plot convenience. It's like, you actually have these traits.
Yeah. And I love how Zachary Levi, like, just whenever he is Shazam, like, he is a 12-year-old in a man's body. Like, he just I don't know, like, how they told him to act, or if that's just how he is, but, like,
probably both.
He nailed it.
Yeah. He looks so happy. He's just like, yeah, dude, look at me. I'm a freaking. Like, yeah, he's got, like, all the snacks in his hand. Yeah, you're welcome.
Well, I'm bulletproof. Like, you're gonna die now.
Yeah, he's like, oh, throw it out the window. Like, just how a 12-year-old will react if that happened to them.
Yeah.
Which is perfect. Really good.
Like, I'm actually legitimately excited for a DC movie, which is the first time since Wonder Woman. Yeah. This is only, you got 2 out of 6. 7? Whatever.
Something like that. It doesn't matter. Against Suicide Squad's not a movie. But still. I mean, basically, like, I don't know. I'm excited for this movie, but almost, like, not really, like, a comic book movie in my head. It's kind of just, like, a fun idea of a movie. Like, even if it wasn't Shazam, if it was just, like, anything. Like, just he becomes a superhero. Like, that's still, I would like that movie.
The way it's shot and just the way the characters kind of act, it feels very much so like a Marvel movie.
Yeah.
Which I have no problems with. Like you said, something that Marvel movies are generally pretty good at doing is not necessarily feeling like a comic book movie, just feeling like a movie with these characters. And this just kind of more or less feels like that. So I don't have any complaints. Marvel makes pretty good movies. If you want to take some inspiration from them, I don't see why not.
Well, I mean, take what the best does and work with it. See what you can do with it. And I mean, if it works, do it. Yeah. If it doesn't work, like your other movies.
Yeah, clearly something needs to change. You get better directors, like.
Yeah. Like, I will say the only thing I didn't like about the trailer, there was no Black Adam. But
this trailer, they more so wanted to introduce Billy Batson and Shazam as a character first, and then maybe the trailer we'll get later in the year will introduce the villain. That's kind of how I see that.
Yeah, okay, yeah, it kind of makes sense. Just kind of make sure, like, okay, this is who we have. So I think that does a good job. But I don't know. That was more what I was like, just to see how it looks and everything. Because ideally he would look really good, but I want to see it.
I mean, Shazam looks pretty good, so I don't see why.
Right, that's what I was saying.
Now, one of the more exciting, arguably one of the most exciting announcements from ComicCon this year was that Star Wars The Clone Wars is getting renewed for what, 6th or 7th season, whatever it is. A new season of Clone Wars is coming back.
Yes! So I gotta tell you the story about how I when I found this out.
Okay.
My friend sent me the thing. It was like, dude, it's coming back. And I was like, dude, no, it isn't. I was like, dude, let it go, man. I know, no, it isn't. And he's like, no, dude, seriously, it's coming. I'm like, dude, it's over, man. Leave it alone. Like, leave it alone. And then, like 10 minutes later, I look on you look on YouTube, and it's like season 7 confirmed. I'm like, wait, what? And I'm
Hashtag
like,
Clone Wars saved. It's like,
yeah.
what?
And I was like, because I saw that first, and it looked like one of those, those like petition websites and stuff. Like, we can get your signature, we can do this, and it never happened. And then I was like, wait a minute, this is real. And like the trailer comes, I was like, this is happening. And I just sent it back. I was like, dude, I'm so sorry. Yeah, so I mean, I look at my phone, Clone Wars is back. I'm losing my mind. I actually did the like, yes, and like walked around the house a little bit because I was so excited. And it's gonna pick up where, and like there are things that they've released like unfinished episodes of like what season 7 would have been in like the past, and those were really good stories. Like they're going to be exploring, like they're going back to Mandalore. That's going to be really cool because the Mandalore show was arguably some of the best stuff in the whole show. So like they're going back to that. Everyone's like, yes, they're going to have some more. Ahsoka's going to be back for a little bit. That was a really good character. It's going to be, I don't know, I'm really excited about this. It's rare when, just like with Young Justice, it's rare when a show that gets canceled comes back and everyone on the team comes right back on it. So I'm really excited about it.
Oh, yeah.
And, they got all the voice actors back, and, they updated the designs even more, and, they've got everybody in their episode 3 looks now, so it's very close to the next movie, obviously.
The series might end with Order 66, which I'm
That's what I was
excited about.
There's how the story's supposed to go. Order 66 just supposed to happen in the middle of a mission, and half the clones just start shooting at them. They start just what is happening? It's gonna be a new person. You're not gonna see in the movie. You see it you see him activated, but here you're just gonna see them just randomly start shooting. You're gonna see it from the Jedi's perspective, what is going on.
I would love if you're just following, because admittedly I haven't watched all of Clone Wars. I've recently gotten back into it. I'm just rewatching the episodes from season 1 because I think I stopped kind of halfway through season 3. I'm just watching the episodes that focus more on the clones right now. And then once I get past season 3, I'll just kind of watch on from there. And it was, and after playing a whole bunch of Star Wars Battlefront 2 2005 Classic, and hearing Rex say you two, or Echo and Fives are now official members of the 501st Legion, just it clicked in my head oh my gosh, it's gonna end with Echo and Fives being on a mission with the Jedi, and just you don't even hear the Order 66 happen. Just they're on a mission with some Jedi, and then all of a sudden they turn and start shooting that Jedi. You know what happened, and that's just all the pieces are in place for it just to be so subtle yet so impactful.
Yeah, it's crazy because it's just the perspective of we've seen all these missions, the Jedi leads all these clones in the battle, we're just going, and then because there's I'm not going to spoil much in it because you get a little sense of it in what's already available, but it's not going to be on this grand scale, and it's going to be huge, that. Oh man, that's going to be the best.
One of my favorite lines from the cinematic portions of Battlefront 2 2005 Classic is the leader of this group was the only thing I remember from the beginning of the Empire was how quiet it was. It just kind of happened. I want something very similar to that. Essentially, what I want is the equivalent of the Thanos snap from Infinity War. Just it happened, and then just essentially that from Iron Man's perspective on Titan. Just he just clearly something is happening. He doesn't know what's going on. He just knows something happened.
Right.
And then
all of a sudden, he's all of a sudden all the Jedi are gone everywhere. Your clones you just fighting with are now trying to hunt you down, and it's gonna be crazy, man. Just knowing how that. Oh, dude.
Yeah.
I'm so hyped.
And I love how the first half of this trailer was all of those clone trooper helmets lined up and just dialogue from previous episodes just being played. Just like, hey, remember this? That was cool, right? Now here's a little teaser of what's gonna happen next. Just it was just so good.
So epic, dude. Oh my gosh, man. I love this show. It's coming back. There's more. Oh man. I'm ready.
I just hope that Rebels doesn't like taint people's perspective, because the little bit I've seen of Rebels, it's not as good as Clone Wars, and I don't think it.
No, it's not.
And I've seen like some analyses of it. It doesn't have the same heart. It has more budget yet less effort put into it somehow. It just there's just so many instances where like it could be cool, and then Ezra or whatever that kid's name is just has to shove his stupid face in it all the time. Like the episode where I actually watched this episode. The episode where like the final confrontation between Darth Maul and Obi-Wan, like that easily should have been like a two-parter. Like the first part is Ezra's mission on Tatooine, whatever he was doing. He meets Obi-Wan and they exchange wisdoms and then go from there. And then like the end of that episode, it is Darth Maul kind of, going through. You just see like a hooded figure going through Tatooine. Who's going to face Darth Maul. Beginning of next episode is more in-depth analysis of like his inner psyche, like what he's thinking on this journey to kill Obi-Wan. Like that is why he's here. And then the end of the episode is the quick death of Maul. Like that could have been set up so good as a two-parter, yet most of the episode dedicated to Darth Maul versus Obi-Wan was about this kid no one cares about. And that just that bugs me. I really hope they actually take more time and, they take the characters that are already super fleshed out from the Clone Wars series and just do more of that. Don't try to make one character a main character. Don't just do what you did before, just better with a higher budget. That's all I want.
Yeah, and I think that's what they're going to do, especially now that Rebels is done. Like, I think pretty much they're going to be like, okay, guys, this is the show everyone loves. What we're going to do, just add more to this thing. Kind of just, add on to the stories you have. Make good stories. Just the best. I mean, they're just adding cherries to the best stories, pretty much. Like, that's pretty much all you need to do, and everyone's just going to drool over. Like, that's all they're going to do. And I think they know that, too,
Yeah.
Just like, all right, so, this was a great story. Everyone loved it. Let's build off of that. Not try to change anything. Just add a little more to it, And I think they're going to do that, to bring all the characters back you really like, not focused on, there's a couple episodes of Clone Wars, the Jar Jar episodes, the Droid episodes. The ones no one's cared about. I don't think they're going to waste any of this season, trying to, because I really do think this might be the last season. I think they're just going to have a farewell season pretty much.
Yeah, which is fine. You're welcome. If it ends like the way I hope it ends, just leave it at that. That's all you need.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. That's fine, because you pretty much went through. You've pretty much gone through the whole war, pretty much.
Yeah.
it's the Clone Wars. You don't. You have a movie.
I love how the tagline was "a war unfinished," like a war left unfinished until now. Just
right.
Oh.
Right, because they just stopped. Because ideally, the show's supposed to go from the start to the end. I know we never see the first battle. Technically it's Geonosis, but you know what I mean.
No one plays episode 2.
Yeah, so it's fine, So it's we actually get to see, get to the point where it's hey, we need to come get you. The Chancellor's been stolen. And it's okay, let's go get them. And then, the kid asks, wait, so what happens next? And then the parent's well, you see. And then, here, watch this movie. And then, boom. So it's just get to the end of the war pretty much now and just, have fun with it. Just make it work.
Essentially, I will only accept 2 endings to the show. Either have the show end at the beginning of episode 3, or have it end with the Order 66. Because if you end it, we found Grievous, we're about to go fight over Coruscant, all men go there. That's how you end it. You know what happens next. All that stuff in episode 3 happens next. I would be fine with that personally. But I
don't know. I
much
feel like
rather prefer it end with Order 66 just kind of.
Oh yeah, like I would feel like they would have, you know how they have level like 4 episode arcs and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like if like halfway through that arc, like you can kind of see Anakin and Obi-Wan have to leave, and you kind of see where episode 3 starts.
Yeah.
And then like an episode or two later, you get to Order 66 because you'll realize you're halfway through episode 3, and then all of a sudden, like, you know, clones start killing Jedi, and so you're just like,
yes.
Oh God, it's happening. Like, oh crap, it's happening. Like everybody, it's just the Michael Scott. Everybody stay calm. Everything's going great. Like that's how I want it to go now.
Yeah.
You kind of, because you know, I just want a different perspective of pretty much the most important event in Star Wars.
Mm. And one thing I like just really appreciate about this show is that it essentially makes episode 3 better because. For one particular aspect where, like, Cody has been with Obi-Wan through the majority of this war. Like, they fought side by side. Like, they're borderline brothers at this point. Like, as you know, as much as a Jedi and a clone can be brothers at this point. And then for him to be the one to give the order to kill Obi-Wan in episode 3, honestly, kind of makes that movie better.
Right? It's like, dude, after all we've been through, you know, how many times we've, like, attacked General Grievous and all these worlds we've taken, you know, like, you just casually kill, you know, shoot him. Like, that's...
It's up there. So, I'm ordered. I have to do this. Kill him.
Like, shoot him. And they're just like, bro! Like, you know, it's kind of like, I know they're clones and they're, like, you know, pretty much programmed to just follow orders, but at the same time, like, wouldn't you think they'd be like, are we sure we want to do this? Like, we kind of been through a lot with these guys, but I mean, they don't really hesitate, you know, it's all just follow orders.
And it's going to be on Disney's streaming service app, right?
Yes.
Okay. Another streaming service app you have to buy. Although, honestly, if you just had Disney streaming service, Netflix, and the DC Universe, that's about $30, which is better than cable and satellite.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, in the future, like, when everyone has streaming services, if you just want, like, 3 or 4 of them, maybe even, like, 2 or 3, that's honestly a better deal than what we have now. So, like, it's not necessarily going to be that bad. Right. Especially since I'm not paying for my satellite, my parents are. So like,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I mean, that's what we do at my house now. I mean, I haven't had cable in my house for over a year now. Like, pretty much, we have like whatever channels are in the air for like local news.
Yeah.
And then we have Netflix and Hulu. Like, we're fine.
Yeah. It is just, you know, a bit disappointing that, like, I mean, I could easily find it online somewhere. Actually, that's what I'll end up doing, unless the Disney service is just super enticing. But I don't know.
It'll depend, because there are definitely more than one thing I'm gonna want. If I'm gonna get one, it's gonna be Disney over WB.
Yeah, I trust Disney a bit more with their content.
Yeah, and plus Disney might have like old Disney Channel shows and stuff that I might want to watch too. Right?
Yes,
you know,
I like old Mickey Mouse and like old just old like Kim Possible,
you know, like
Jake
yeah,
Long.
I was all that. Yeah, exactly. You know, just have those random shows, maybe, you know, like some Zach and Cody or something. Like, yeah, I can get behind that. Like, sure.
Why not?
Yeah. So I think if it was one or the other, I'd definitely get Disney's streaming service.
Yeah. So, Star Wars: The Clone Wars was a pretty exciting announcement. It was not my favorite trailer or favorite thing at ComicCon this year.
Okay.
My personal most excited about thing from this year's Comic-Con was Invader Zim. Enter the floor pass.
Oh my god.
You've seen Invader Zim, right?
Yes. Oh, yes. I have seen Invader Zim. Invader Zim is one of those shows that I don't understand why it doesn't get more credit.
It has this weird, like, cult following, but, like, after watching that trailer, I realized this trailer looks the same as Invader Zim did, like, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Which says more about the show back then. Like, it was animated like a modern show back in like 2001 or 2 whenever it came out.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
I don't understand why more people don't like this show. I know it's weird, but it's a good weird.
Oh, no. I think, honestly, I think Invader Zim is going to be, like, appreciated more now than it was back then because it's got that, like, odd, weird humor that more cartoon shows have now. You know, kind of like Adventure Times and, like, not as much as, it's not like an adult show, but, like, kind of Rick and Morty kind of stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, like, you know, I think now I think they're realizing now it's a better time for this kind of stuff. So, like, I think Invader Zim is going to do a lot better in 2018.
Oh, yeah. And, like, I honestly wouldn't be surprised if most, if not all of those shots from that trailer are not even in the movie. They're just stuff, hey, look, remember the Invader Zim? It's goofy, it's weird, it's wacky. Like, this is what this movie's going to be like. But really, this trailer itself is not really representative of the movie, which, like, I'd be fine with, because that's exactly what something the creator of the show would do.
Yeah. So, yeah. Or, like, he'll show all those clips in, like, the first 10 seconds. Yeah, we were going to do that, but, nah. You know, like, dude. But, like, this show is so, I don't know, it's just so different than everything else that was on Nickelodeon. Oh, yeah. So it's just you're just like, what is happening?
It's so good and so clever. Like, that show perfected timing of jokes. Like, it knew exactly when to cut off a joke. Like, certain things could go for like 30 seconds. Certain things only need a couple of seconds to be funny. Like, and some of my favorite jokes of that show were the ones that just lasted forever and they were funny the whole time. I just hope this movie, since the same writers, creator, voice actors, if everything is the same, I hope they still have that same kind of, you know.
Yeah, and I think as long as, like, the main, like, directing and stuff, I don't think all the voice actors and stuff will be back because, you know, it's been a while, so it's kind of harder after, like, 10, 15 years stuff to get that. But I still think it's going to have the same overall Invader Zim feel to it, which is the most important thing, obviously. Is I think the joke time and stuff like that, as long as that's still there, this is going to be great. Like, I'm so
yeah. So, yeah, pretty much everything from ComicCon this year was pretty darn exciting outside of Titans. And Aquaman's still up in the air, but, like, the trailer we got was pretty good. And there was other stuff from ComicCon that I just don't feel like talking about right now. I don't really care about most of it. I'm sure there are people out there who actually find it exciting and whatnot, but, like, this is all the stuff I personally felt like really diving into. Is there anything else you personally care about that you want to bring up?
Not really. I might talk like my
recent.
No, I mean, I've never been a big Godzilla person. Like, I was never really like, oh yeah, like, you know, I was just kind of, you know, it's fine. It's not a big deal. But, you know, I was really happy with Comic-Con this year. I gotta say. Yeah. Like, I was.
Especially since, like, I didn't realize it was happening until I saw the Clone Wars thing.
It's just kind of, you're like, oh.
Yeah. Right. Stuff is happening.
Yeah, you're like, oh. Like, you know, I thought it was just one thing, and then I realized, no, it's a lot of things at the same time. I was like, oh no, this is happening right now. Like,
yeah, cool.
Oh my god. But yeah, no, I mean, everything looked good. The trailers were nice. I mean, having two shows coming back that I thought, I knew Young Justice was coming back, but, like, seeing updates on both of those things, it's like, you know, that's really awesome.
Invader Zim still keeping whatever it had.
You know, because Invader Zim, I was really not expecting. Like, that was the most unexpected thing.
I think I knew it was getting a movie for a while, but, like, I wasn't expecting it to be the same as it was. But, like, that trailer convinced me. Yeah, it's gonna be good.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I was like, wow, like, you know, it's just, I think we're finally getting to that point where creators and stuff are listening to like and like paying attention to what the fans actually want. And like, you know, when fans are like, here, take my money, like, you know, the whole Fry meme, they're like, okay, let's look at everything that's based off of and let's just bring those back and see if it works. And so far it's like, yeah, we still want that stuff, you know? Like, so I mean, next thing you know, they're gonna be making like, what else? I mean, what else do we want more of? I don't even know.
If any other day I could just list off stuff,
right?
I can't.
Right.
I know. There are definitely other stuff I wouldn't mind seeing it come back for.
But hopefully they'll start just making stuff. I mean, as long as they're making stuff that we've asked for in the past, and not just throwing stuff at us we don't want. You know, like a Solo movie, like we'll be fine. You know. Like, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, why are they getting on this Kenobi movie? That's the next thing everyone's asking for. So, like, why not jump on that? But
I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
No, but I mean, they're probably just finishing their trilogy right now. They're fine. So, plus they got Avengers stuff to worry about, at least Disney as a whole. So.
Captain Marvel and,
right?
They're fine.
They're fine. But yeah, that's awesome to think about. Just like, yes. It's happening, like real, like, you know, it's like I never thought this day would come, even though it's weird, but it's like, oh, okay, I really have that feeling now. So this was good.
So yeah, hopefully all the trailers that look good actually end up producing good movies/shows. Hopefully the trailers that we weren't super excited about turn out to be half decent. Still not, you know, don't have any hopes at all for Titans. Aquaman has potential, but you know, it was Aquaman, so I don't know. But
definitely feeling more Shazam.
Huh?
Definitely feeling more for Shazam than Aquaman.
Oh yeah, Shazam I'm actually legitimately excited about.
Right.
With that, we will see you all next time.